Berkeley SkyDeck Europe Demo Day, the program that is sponsored by Berkeley SkyDeck, Carbo Factory, and Lend-Lease. It's great to see so many of you here and connected online. So, now, over to you, Caroline.
All right. As soon as I get the clicker, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what's happening today. So, you are now entering officially, thank you, Berkeley SkyDeck and SkyDeck Europe Demo Day. How many of you have heard of Berkeley SkyDeck? Anybody? Anybody here? Lots of you. Fantastic. How many of you are SkyDeck advisors? I know there's some in the audience here and some backstage. Welcome. Let me quickly tell you what Berkeley SkyDeck is so you know what's going on. And what we're going to do today, I'm going to tell you a little about Berkeley SkyDeck, why we're here in Europe and love it here. Then we're going to have a panel of 4 investors from 4 different countries, from Italy, from Finland, from Germany, and from the Netherlands. We're going to have a quick discussion, and then we're going to have the most important thing, which is what? What's the most important thing at a demo day? The startup pitches. So we're going to have 9 of our startups pitch to you a lightning-fast 5-minute pitch. Quickly, let me tell you what Berkeley SkyDeck is. We are UC Berkeley's startup accelerator and incubator. So we are a part of UC Berkeley. We are run by UC Berkeley. And what we do is, you can see a few numbers up there in our whole program. We're based in Berkeley. We accelerate and incubate about 250 startups per year. In total, our program startups have raised over $2 billion. And we host what is the largest demo day for our Berkeley program in Berkeley with over 800 investors. So our big program, we're quite well known, and we love coming to Europe to run our European program here. But let me quick tell you why Berkeley is
Club, where we look into later stage companies in Europe, how they can scale further, and I'm group president for the cardiovascular therapy group. And maybe that is a link to our investment focus is on medtech, health tech, and specific deep tech areas.
Awesome, great. So everybody loves to hear about investment trends. From your perspective, what are you excited about? Talk about maybe some specific industries or specific types of companies. Give us a little deep dive into what's going on in your mind right now as an investor, and let's start with Stefan.
Yeah, definitely over the last couple of years, let's take 3-4 years, we've seen many topics in the quantum computing area. So this is one thing which is of big interest for us. We are heavily invested in that area. I think it will take still a little bit, 1-2 years until we really ramp up and go through the roof with that topic. The other one I would be more general, and we are focusing on all decarbonization topics, because at the moment, especially in Europe, one of the biggest challenges we are having, direct, indirect decarbonization, but therefore there's tons of technologies out there that help us to do that, and so this is the other thing which I'm very enthusiastic about, and our focus is our fund is putting a strong focus on that one.
Awesome. Petra.
Thank you. So lately what's been on our mind really has been the flexibility space overall, so optimizing battery assets in all the levels, so from household home energy management system and optimizing those household assets to then more the grid scale. And then other topic is these climate intelligence platforms. So we just invested in one German company called Repath that they do climate adaptation, so really helping energy asset owners to understand how as we've seen now the floods and we see all the time the increasing amount of these climate hazards, so how do they affect, for instance, infrastructure? So I think there's a lot that we can do also from, I guess we have a software focus, so we can also help a lot with the data side.
Great. Nicola.
Okay, I'm sorry. As a long-term investor, we are committed to look at venture capital investing, but also private market investing in the broad picture of the economic trends. What we see now is that the aggressive monetary stance of the last 10 years have put a lot of money in the system, which is still there because it has not been destroyed by any market turmoil or drawdown. We see a trend also in innovation because we think that innovation and venture capital startups are a way to get the system out of the stationary state in which it lies now, because we have no growth at all, at least in Europe. So as we are an operator in this context, we cannot look at another direction. We are fully involved in pushing for the growth in Italy and Europe. We have raised our venture capital component in the asset allocation because we believe in it, but we are very selective. We look at particular sectors, those which are involved by artificial intelligence in various forms, because we think that this is a trend that is going to last, for which there's a huge demand. The technology is getting more and more stable. Of course, it's affordable. And then there's another point. We think that staying on those general partners, which as
steps. And for that, we look at the founder teams, and even though we can be very quick in investing, so it might work within 4 weeks that we transfer the first €1 million. We try, and so far in the last 21 investments, we always made that, is we spend a whole day. Different in how we judge is also different things like experience, but also we have a catalog with check boxes, of course, but since many years, and we look at many things, and in the end, it's also a big chunk of gut feeling where we say, okay, we believe in that team, they're really rock stars, and you have to see that, you have to feel that. Benny, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, very important that you mentioned the teams. So also not only say the startup CEO, but it's always a founding team. So with also diversity in those founders between themselves, from their backgrounds, but also in terms of their character, that they're really a team. But maybe an aspect that I'm always looking at, so see that those founding teams have made a step up, say in terms of their proposition, but also have they grown as in fact company founders and company CEOs, and can they reach the next level? So it's say very comfortable maybe in the early stages, but do they really have the spark and then also the ability to go beyond and to lead a greater company and in fact to scale up and then say something more substantial that would fit into a large company like ours, and those are really those
company's not proven. And one of the things we do at SkyDeck, because we're an accelerator, we have to make these decisions very, very fast. We can't spend all day with the founders, so we've added to our application a question that's been very informative, and that question is, tell us about something that was a big hurdle in your life, a big obstacle, a big hardship. How did you deal with it? How did you overcome it? And we get some pretty amazing answers in there. We hear about people who were in foster care, people who were orphaned, people who had to take care of their mother who had cancer, who had no money to go to school but somehow got through school. And that's extremely informative about someone who will tackle any odd and overcome it. So we're also looking for that, how do you tell when there's an outlier person? All the founders that we invest in, and you too, that needs to not be a regular person. That needs to be an outlier. So we're all looking for that spark. And I know today we've got 9 sparks backstage that can't wait to talk to you. So I think we have time for one more question. I think folks would like to hear about what's going on in Europe, right? So we've got Finland, we've got Italy, we've got Germany and Amsterdam. Do you invest all over Europe? Talk about the ecosystem here. How many people here are not from Italy? How many people came here from somewhere else? So we've got a nice mix. So let's talk about that a little bit. Go ahead, Stefan. Lead us off.
Well, I think the European, we do invest in all across Europe. So that's the first thing. And we have investments in Norway, in Portugal, in Italy, in France, in Germany, of course. And there is a lot of difference in these ecosystems, which is already a little bit ahead. But the good thing is, and I'm since 3 years I'm here, I see that there is a lot of movement in the right direction, and that's what I really love, because I mean there's nothing worse than being stable, being well, not having any more ideas, and that's exactly the opposite here now. So things are turning, and invention is there. The right people are here. So that's what I really love about this place here and being in Milano.
Thank you. Yeah, so we have made 8 investments from now the first fund in the first year, actually, and they're all across Europe, and we love to co-invest. So I think this, me being here also these few days and meeting a lot of local investors as well, is a way for us to kind of get understanding of the market and then see what is the value add of us working really together. So previously we've also invested in markets that are not that familiar to us, but then maybe an Italian investor can bring different perspectives on regulation or kind of what grants and what are the opportunities in the market differently than we can. But then we're a specialist VC and we come from a very kind of strong energy industry background, so then that's the value add that we bring to the table. So I think overall just being open to kind of a broad perspective on the different markets. And for instance, in the Nordics, what we hear from founders from all over is that we are quite ahead in a lot of things in the sustainability, and that's what we do. So then we also have
them share a common background, the ability to stay on the things, or value in the startup, but they need to be organized, to be effective in doing a proposition. So we have a mission, which is in a way a mission of a search fund. No? We find quality, we have to help this quality to get out and to become a business idea. Things are quite different when we approach more mature areas, such as the one in Northern Europe. In those cases, the approach is quite different. But we have an advantage of working with the Mediterranean area, which is the level of valuation, which is a very interesting and very good entry point. So I think that we can help in increase the value, and really we can be satisfied in being keen in capturing value in the early stage and the growth stage, which are the most promising one. What we think that is that focusing on Italian venture capital, we are really able to exploit the full potential, which is really untapped here.
I think maybe to add, I think that's a really good point on the valuation, and that's maybe one of the biggest differences. For instance, UK, we see that the valuations are quite inflated occasionally, and then when we invest in energy tech, so a lot of other generalists have kind of flooded the market as well. So then kind of the exit multiples and the multiples for the next stage, I think that's also very interesting to have these new markets where maybe it's more realistic, because we're very price sensitive in that way.
We're all looking for good deals. Great talent at a great price. Benno, go ahead.
Maybe one word that was not yet mentioned was, say, really ecosystem. So I'm a really big believer in those ecosystems. So you have a few areas where you have strong ecosystems, and say we are investing Europe-wide and in fact worldwide, but I'm also very heavily involved in our local ecosystem in Eindhoven. And when I compare when we started 15 years ago, for a startup was much more difficult there to grow. Now 15 years later, we've built a whole community and whole ecosystem, and the founders from more scale-ups and experienced startups start to help the new generation there. And I think this is what is happening now across a number of ecosystems in Europe, that we have expertise, we have experience, and they
listen to the startups, absolutely. Yeah, let's take the chairs away. Can we get some transition music? Do you guys have Start
Yeah.
Me Up by the Rolling Stones? That is the SkyDeck theme song.
I guess we need to sing ourselves then. Well,
We always blast that at demo day. All right,
yeah,
let's kick this off.
exactly.
All right, go ahead, Anders.
So, this great program is possible through the collaboration between Carper Factory, Lend-Lease, and Berkeley SkyDeck. And it's a 6-month program that starts at Berkeley very intensely, then there's a virtual period, and then it ends up in Milan for the final sprint leading up to this demo day. And it's a great privilege to be part of this. This is the 5th batch we're having now, and we've been running it for 2.5 years, and I'm really excited and privileged to be part of this journey, meeting these fantastic founders and having the opportunity to learn about innovation from around the world. There are 2 very important partners that made all this possible, and that's Fondazione Cariplo and Regione Lombardia. So without these 2, this wouldn't have been possible. And we'd like to thank them very much for their contribution and support leading to this. And of course, it's a bit special today to stay here at the stage of the headquarters of the Lombardy region and having this demo day, which is the first time we're doing this. This program has a few very important assets, and one of them are the advisors. They are the people that stay with these startups 24/7 during this program, give them support, guidance, and put them on the right track for the acceleration. And we have more than 700 advisors from both Europe and the US, and some of them are here today, so I would like you who are a SkyDeck advisor to please stand up and wave your hand so we can thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's the core. Then there's also other important content that to help the startups during this period. So we have workshops. They are delivered by Berkeley, but also through the universities in Lombardy that we have a collaboration with. So this is another important piece. And there are many different topics, and there are more than 65 of them that the startups can choose among. So Caroline, if we look at this batch, how did it all start?
So it started with over 2,000 applications for batch 18. That's the batch you're going to hear today at SkyDeck. These are applications from all over the world, including Europe. So it's pretty hard to get into SkyDeck Europe. I think if we're doing our math right and we added up all these applications, you can see they came from every continent except no applications from Antarctica yet. But we're still doing advertising, so we might get one from there. But you can see we get startups applying to today's program from all over the world, and you'll see when you hear them pitching, they're not all from Italy, they're from everywhere, which is fantastic. So if we do our math right, 9 or so startups out of the total that applied to the Europe program is about a 1.2% acceptance rate. It is harder to get into Berkeley SkyDeck and SkyDeck Europe than most top universities. We're very proud of that.
Fundraising to help the startups to meet with you as investors, get into the mood and learn the tips and tricks of how to land investments. And last Friday we were in Verbania, the great villa, to do the final preparation for this demo day. So, Caroline, I think we are ready now to start.
I think we've done enough talking. Enough talking about that. You want to hear from some founders? You want to hear some startups? Yes. All right. Some founders? You want to hear some startups? Yes. All right. We're going to call them out. Here's how it's going to go. Each founder is going to give the classic 5-minute SkyDeck pitch, their entire business in 5 minutes. There won't be questions, but you're going to meet them at the expo afterwards. I want every single one of you at that expo, please, to meet with the founders. They'll be there. There'll be a robot there, so you definitely don't want to miss that. So without any further ado, please join me in welcoming the very first startup whose presentation is being loaded up right now, and any minute I'm going to see it on this monitor. In the meantime, I'm going to keep you guys all excited. I think they're up there. Yes! Everybody, a round warm of applause for our first startup. Please welcome the AI digital advisor startup, and please welcome the founder of Chloe, Alexander Zhinorovsky.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Alexander. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Chloe. How many of you have been at least once at manufacturing shop floor? Please raise the hand. OK, please, at least someone. The manufacturing process is quite complex, we all know. But the software that controls this process and automated even more than €1 million of one facility in Brescia. And the problem of that only few people understand how to read this data and then analyze it. And for the general site manager, the Daniel, it's like searching for a needle in a haystack to understand the reasons and root cause analysis. That's why he believes that artificial intelligence will eliminate it. And this is manufacturing more than €3 billion in turnover. What happens with the smaller companies? Here, due to the rejections, energy waste, wasted labor hours, misaligned schedules, and huge amount of data that they need to analyze, and manually it's quite hard to do. And this is the reason why we created Chloe AI Digital Advisor, in order to give manufacturers the understanding what happens with their processes, where the bottlenecks coming from, and how to eliminate them. Let's look at one of our customers called Mogar. What you see on the screen, our system connected to several machines, able to provide information, the key KPIs on the performance, on the downtimes, how many parts have been produced, and much more, like sustainability data. And it can also benchmark the reasons of these downtimes. And what you can see, it is done only on a few seconds of time. What Davide and his team spent in the past weeks and days to get that information from the equipment, put in the journals, now is done in seconds of time. It's quite impressive. And basically, we created a Chloe with such capabilities that it will be able to connect to any kind of industrial equipment or large platforms, collect this data, properly structure it with the help of machine learning and LLMs, and give it back into most simple user interface that anyone can understand, any language, at any time. This leads to the huge efficiency improvement, up to 70%. On average, 20% of the downtimes could be decreased, as well as you have a constant digital advisor that suggests you where your bottlenecks coming from and how to eliminate them. The market is huge. The factory automation market is more than €1 billion. Chloe's service obtainable market is €1.1 billion, with 200,000 manufacturers in this field. Our current target is 3 countries, Italy, Switzerland, and Finland, at this stage of the company. Compared to our competitors, which usually rely on the heavy platforms that leads to these bottlenecks, Chloe is 5 times faster in the deployment, and we don't need any additional training of the employees. This leads to more significant ROI for them. Our business model is pretty simple. It is annual subscription, and there are 2 packages, the basic module and the premium AI module. Our average customer have around 20 machines. Knowing all of this, we have approached manufacturers in Europe and Asia and already have 7 paying customers, generating €50,000 ARR for our basic package. At the same time, we are making 10 pilot projects for our premium AI software, and once converted into the business by the end of this year, it will give us €150K ARR, and we also have a pipeline worth of €2 million, more than 100 deals to scale our business next year. All of this done by our special team that speaks with manufacturers the same language. We are experts in AI, data analysis, manufacturing. Our CTO, for example, was my customer in the past, and he joined Chloe to support us on this journey. Behind our backs, more than several hundred successfully executed projects globally with the manufacturing companies. We are backed by strong advisors from the SkyDeck and our network of industrial experts that supports us on scaling our business and a go-to-market. We are raising €1 million. We already have 400K of hard commitments from VCs and angels in Finland and Italy, and lead investor. With this money, we will get 65 recurring customers by mid of 2026, generating 2.5 million ARR. This is the perfect time to join Chloe on this journey to bring the artificial intelligence to the manufacturing shop floor. Come to our booth, and we will talk more, and we will show you our software. Thank you so much. It is a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. All right, nice applause. Thank you, thank you. While they're loading up this PowerPoint, let me introduce, see how that's going. Oh, that is looking good. Are we up? No? This next founder, I remember the interview. He really stuck out with his passion and his energy, and then we found out he's solving a problem he himself had, and that's always a great thing for a company. So please welcome the co-founder of Open Grant, Kasper Schlarczyk.
Hi everyone, my name is Kasper Schlarczyk, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Open Grant. I wanted to bring you all back to 2018. I was 16 years old and working for a nonprofit supporting young Polish founders. For 3 years, we struggled to bring impact to our beneficiaries without external funding. Then, in 2021, I met Jan, my co-founder, eventually, who was a professional grant writer at the time. Within 6 months, Jan won us our first 50,000 euros in grants, which allowed my nonprofit to professionalize overnight and grow our operations. Years later, we started Open Grant. But now, we're not just talking about 50,000 euros. Now, we're talking about 400 billion euros in the European Union alone every single year. But this money comes with complexity. Behind me, you can see the extremely complex grant ecosystem in one of the EU countries, Germany. This is what an organization would have to go through to get national grant funding. Let's break down the issue. Since there's no standardized pipeline to find grants, grant writers have to Google grants for hours, and once they find one that looks relevant, it takes them 2 to 6 weeks to actually write the application. While writing, they have to read, understand, and comply with grant guidelines, which are more than 100 pages of jargon, all the while paying thousands of euros in salaries, consultations, or outsourcing for each individual grant. And even in spite of this, more than 50% of applications fail due to errors in compliance. So, how do we do this with Open Grant? Instead of 3 weeks, it takes 2 hours to submit a proposal. We don't charge any money up front, as we're purely success fee based, and at the same time, to date, we have a 100% compliance success rate. So, how do we simplify this extremely complex process on our platform? We start by finding users the most relevant grant applications. Next, we deconstruct complex grant guidelines and legal into actionable terms, prompting users for short-form inputs. These inputs are fed into our generative AI systems and produce multiple, high-quality applications tailored to all relevant grants. After winning a proposal, users manage compliance, milestones, and reporting directly through our platform, held by the hand the entire way. As for the market, every year governments give 2.3 trillion euros around the globe to SMEs. We focus currently as our beachhead on the NGO niche in Europe and currently service 4.5 billion euros through our platform today. By end of 2027, we want to have 200 million in gross transactional volume going through Open Grant. Of this, as a success fee, we take between 3 and 6% per application won, covering the entire grant workflow for Open Grant as we service it. This is our plan for the next year. In the next month, we want to service a few NGO grant schemes and then move to Italy for SME and startup grants through some of our amazing ecosystem partners. By August 2025, we want to make 50,000 euros in revenue, and starting in September, we want to raise a very metric-driven seed. Currently, we have 14 months of runway, so there's no problem to deliver on our traction and then raise some more. And our plan's working. In the last 30 days alone, we've submitted 54 proposals through 15 grant schemes we service on the platform. And in the next 30 days, we want to submit 100 more, for which we have already 70 customers lined up. So everything is going according to plan. As for the competition, Open Grant is the simplest and fastest out of all of the solutions. As for comprehensiveness, we're the only product on the market that in a digitized fashion brings users through the whole grant procedure with project fulfillment management and reporting also included. As for the team, together with my co-founder, we've been writing grants for more than 10 years, running 9 different organizations, and raising over 1 million euros through grants for them. Additionally, Jan acts as our one-person lobby organization as the Polish youth delegate to the European Union, representing around 15 million people to it. Additionally, of course, as part of SkyDeck, we've had some amazing people support us along the way. Open Grant is exactly what my NGO needed 6 years ago. We had purpose and traction, but we did not have knowledge. We didn't have anyone to guide us by the hand. This is what Open Grant is doing today already for 100 NGOs. And we want to move this further to SME startups all over Europe. Come to our booth and let's figure out together how we can get fundraising to the next generation of companies today. Thank you very much.
Mike. Okay, while they're setting up this next PowerPoint, there is a robot, and you got to go see it at the expo. So without further ado, robots are taking over, but this one is actually going to save lives. It's an incredibly sophisticated robot, and you'll be impressed with just how sophisticated the team is. Please welcome the co-founder of Flex Robotics, Christoph Jennis.
Hey everyone, my name is Christoph. I'm the CEO of Flex Robotics. My dream is to make vascular surgeries accessible and safe for everyone. Let me tell you about the story of Anne. Anne was a 58-year-old teacher from the Netherlands, a loving mother of 3, a grandmother of 5. Anne had an arterial blockage, something many people face. After waiting anxiously for 5 long weeks, she finally underwent stent implant surgery. Now, this procedure, despite being common, is still risky. During this procedure, surgeons have to manually push wires through fragile arteries, a delicate task that hasn't changed much since the 80s. Tragically, during this procedure, Anne's artery was punctured. She died. Every year, more than 15 million people undergo these type of procedures, each facing the same outdated risks. And with fewer surgeons entering the field, the situation is becoming even more dire. Now, this causes a lot of problems. Currently, surgeries take way too long, averages 5 hours. Surgeons can treat 1, maybe 2 patients per day, which causes longer waiting times for other patients. They get exposed to a lot of radiation just to visualize where these arteries are, which compromises immunity and lead to other health problems, including cancer. And it is a costly procedure. And still, what happened to Anne, because guide wires are designed to be pushed, happened to 100,000 patients every year. That is why we bring to you the Flux 2 navigation system. How does it work? A surgeon takes one of our magnetic wires, places it into the artery, and the system pulls it to where it needs to go, with 0 damage to the artery walls. And today is a special day for both of us, because we brought the system here upstairs for you to see. In short, instead of pushing, we simply pull. And this revolutionizes surgical efficiency. With the Flux 2 system, a surgeon can treat a patient in just 45 minutes, meaning up to 10 patients can be treated per day. Radiation is significantly reduced to only 5 minutes, and the costs are reduced to 5,000 euros per procedure. Plus, surgeons that are not as specialized can use the system, which opens the patient pool with an added 20%. We have made significant progress with the Flux 2. Our MVP is ready, backed by patent protection. We've raised more than 1 million in funding, published more than 20 articles. We conducted tests in 4 hospitals. We did an animal trial, of which we received ethical approval, and we got endorsements from 5 key opinion leaders. Our plans are to do more pilot studies, conduct a clinical trial, and get FDA approval. Here's just a few examples of what surgeons think. Top vascular surgeons are not just supporting our technology, they are amazed by its ease of use. They believe it is a paradigm shift. Finally, they have a solution that can help them save lives. We see Flux 2 as the driving force behind a new era of vascular surgeries. With FDA approval by 2027, we plan to expand in stent surgeries, in the kidneys, legs, heart, brain, and lungs. We will be selling our system directly to hospitals, and the key value driver here will be the guide wires, which we will license to an OEM at a fee. These are disposable tools, and hence they are recurring revenue. Now, this is not just about saving lives. This is about addressing a huge growing market. Every year, more than 16.9 million lives are lost just because of vascular disease. With these millions of cases reported annually, we aim to capture a 1.2 billion euro market. And these are just the hospitals in the US that are willing to adopt the Flux2 technology. In the highly competitive medtech landscape, we aim to distinguish ourselves by being the sole provider that offers a robotic technology that we have vascular surgeons that are supporting us and conducting trials with us. And of course, we have we advance towards clinical trials. We aim to raise 2.2 million euros. We invite investors that are passionate about transforming vascular surgeries to join us on this venture. And remember, your future well-being starts with Flux Robotics. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Christoph. All right, while they're loading up this next PowerPoint, this company has hit upon an insight that most of the startups in the ESG space have not, and that is that you can't just measure your climate impact, you need to measure your biodiversity. Here to tell you all about it is the co-founder of DT Master Carbon, Mia Chen.
Hello. Hi everyone, my name is Mia, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of DT Master Carbon. We are an AI-powered climate and biodiversity platform. Today, we are going to talk about climate change and biodiversity loss. Many of you may know what is climate change. With the current global warming, storms, cyclones, desertification, and deforestation. But you may not know what is biodiversity loss, and you may even don't know that biodiversity loss is the main cause of COVID-19. The biodiversity loss is impacted by 5 drivers: climate change, pollution, changing land use and sea use, invasive species, and direct exploitation of organisms. Today, the nature is in crisis, and in EU, 70% of nature has been damaged. And this is why European Union decided to invest by 2026 120 billion euro in biodiversity and 100 billion in climate. But when we see regulations, investments, laws, that also means a lot of complexity for companies. Today, for every company, they need to spend in average per year 4 million euro, up to 12 months for their ESG assessments, with a lot of complexity, and most of the time, they lack of the expertise. This is why with my co-founders, we created DT Master Carbon. We believe with the right technology platform and our expertise, we can help them. And we created the first climate and biodiversity AI platform and marketplace. Companies then go to our platform to assess their current impacts, risk, and dependency in climate and biodiversity. They can use it for their ESG compliance like CSRD or CDP, and the overall product is powered by low-carbon AI LLM to automate everything. When they identify the risk, they can go to our marketplace to find solutions that can help them to reduce carbon footprint and biodiversity loss. We today partner with more than 500 solution providers. And on the top of that, we also use AI computer vision, satellite pictures, and IoT, and on-site data collection to provide the carbon and biodiversity reports. So, after experiencing with several customers, we know our value proposition. With DT Master Carbon, we can save their 50 of their expense, 75% of their time, with fewer complexity, and they can gain a lot of expertise. And these customers, they are not alone. There are hundreds and millions of companies in their case. We estimate a market of 1.1 trillion euro and our addressable market of 4.2 billion euro. In this hyper-competitive market, we are very unique. Most of our companies, they only focus on climate change, whereas we also focus on all 5 drivers of the biodiversity loss, including climate change. We have this dual approach in climate and biodiversity. We also offer these hyper experiences with our AI computer vision and AI LLM and our 500 solution providers. So today is the time, and we're ready with the global awareness in sustainability, our technology partnerships with research lab, and a fantastic team of 10 people. We got a lot of traction. We have signed 8 corporate clients, 500 solution providers, 250,000 contracts signed this year, and 5 million in pipeline. And we raised 1 million so far. This is our team. We are a team of 100 years cumulative experience in sustainability and technology. We are also backed by passionate advisors. Some of them are also our investors. So this is a call for everyone who wants to tackle with us the climate change and loss of biodiversity. We are currently fundraising 3 million to target a 4 million ARR by 2026. And we are also looking for prospective clients. So if you're interested, feel free to join me on my booth. And for online people, you have my emails. Thank you a lot.
Thank you, Mia. Thank you, thank you. Our next group of founders, there's only one presenting, but the group is an incredibly sophisticated team of scientists. You're going to be very impressed with how they're approaching working with plants for trait development. Please welcome the co-founder of Omics, Leonard Struck.
Hello everyone, my name is Leonard Struck and I'm the co-founder and CTO of Omics, where we create super seeds for the future of food. The world is changing. Over the last decade alone, the world population has grown by 1 billion people. And climate change has altered the way we live. More importantly, the way we grow food and produce food has changed. We went from growing it to engineering it to secure enough food for a growing population. And this is how we do it. Let's use corn as an example of food and crops in general. Corn has characteristics. Corn is yellow, crunchy, tall, but it's not round, and it's not resistant to bacteria. These are what we call traits. And food producers, more specifically seed companies, have engineered these traits to make corn, in this example, more resistant to diseases. And this is their current process. First, seed companies identify the genes that are responsible for the trait that they want to develop. But this is really hard, because they don't know which genes is responsible for which trait. Then they're introducing the trait into the plant that they hope will develop a resistance to bacteria. This is based on little to no data, just trial and error. And finally, the field test. They are taking the new seed, growing it, and examining if the gene were passed on to the new seed. This is a really long process, up to 9 months, and it has a 98% failure rate. So you get it, there are a lot of problems. The first problem is, because of all the countless iterations that they need to go through, it costs 110 million euros to develop a new trait. And because all the guesswork that goes into the process, it takes them 15 years to implement a successful trait from start to finish. And when you think you're done, you're not. Because basically the bacteria can develop an immunity to the trait you spend 15 years developing in as little as 2 years, which results in another 15 years remedy gap. And then you basically have to start all over again. That's why we created Omics, an AI platform that optimizes the trait development and discovery process. Using the world's largest plant dataset, we're developing predictive models that not only tells you which traits to introduce, but also what's the best strategy to get it done. We then develop the trait in our lab to validate our findings and feel for patents. Datomics is completely changing the game. Because of our predictive model, we're slashing the development cost by more than 75%, down to 25 million euros. And because we're moving all the guesswork from the discovery and development process, we're also reducing the time it takes to bring a successful trait to market, down to 3 years. And because of the speed we're doing this at, nature won't ever have a significant lead on us ever again, reducing by 80% the remedy gap and saving billions of dollars worth of wasted corn, but also canola, rice, soybean, and all the other crops. The trait business is a B2B business where we, trait developers, are granting seed companies licenses to exploit our trait. This is a really common practice in the agtech world. We will offer our patented trait at 20 euros per acre to the 700 plus seed companies, starting with the US. It represents a 3.7 billion euros market, and then we'll expand abroad. The total addressable market is at 5.8 trillion euros, growing at an 8.2 CAGR. Market will eventually address. But we're first starting with the $3.7 billion market of the US. Datomics is on a league of its own. While our competitors are focusing on how to transform plants, we're focusing on which traits to introduce in the first place, using our data-centric approach. This allows us to scale our technology to larger and broader market, while offering us statistically validated predicted outcome. And the team could not be better, made of former successful founders and nerds like you've never seen before. Cyril is the former CEO of a plant biotech company that got acquired. Bertrand is the VP of the biology department of Université Paris-Saclay, where I lead the plant research groups. He has more than 70 publications and multiple patents on trait. Myself, I'm the former founder of a Gen AI company and has a strong biochemistry background from the École Normale Supérieure. Together, over the past few months, we've already achieved a lot. We've set up our labs and greenhouses, consolidated public dataset, secured proprietary datasets that are giving us a hedge, and trained our first model that have a really good performance. We've also struck good partnership with ecosystem and accelerator that gives us a foothold both in Europe and in the US, strike key partnership with partners that are giving us access to plant datasets, and finally secured a bit of funding that are allowing us to get our activity started. We're currently raising a 3.5 million round, one of which has already been secured with 3 objectives. The first one is to build the world's largest plant multi-omics dataset. We'll use that to train our model and develop the foundation of our platform around discovery and designs of traits. And finally, we also want to engage with one commercial partner, one seed companies, to develop our first commercial trait. Join me at my booth to talk about how to make the seeds of the future and learn what really is a life-changing company. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Leonard. We love it when a company tackles an industry that is using 100-year-old technology. So you're going to see AI applied to something you probably haven't seen before, which is broken bones. Please welcome the co-founder of Drill Surgeries, Moses Barbero Ramos.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Moises, the founder and CEO of Drill Surgeries, and we have created the first artificial intelligence platform to help doctors operate on broken bones accurately and safely. I grew up around hospitals. My dad, a salesman of medical equipment, would take me to work with him after school. There I learned how a scheduled 30-minute-long operation could turn into countless hours of falling asleep and waiting in the lobby of a random hospital. The way doctors operate broken bones is the same it was done 100 years ago. A patient with a broken arm will be admitted to the operating room where a doctor will shoot hundreds of x-rays for 2 hours, trying to figure out where to operate. With a 36% failure rate that leads to blood loss, infections, trauma, anesthetics, implant damage, this is not only dangerous for patients, it is also for doctors. Doctors are blindfolded and they want a solution to guide them. The answer lies in millimeters of difference between fixing a broken bone and costly recovery, malpractice, in a €5 billion market. So to fix this, we have created the first artificial intelligence to navigate doctors operating on broken bones. At Hospital La Fe in Spain, Dr. Joan Ferraz is no longer operating using guesswork or X-rays. He uses dual surgery's technology. Let me show it to you. The doctor puts on a mixed reality headset. Think of this like a pair of sunglasses that project layers of information. Only our AI projects 3D models of the patient's internal structures in real time, giving them a precise view of where to operate, guiding them with a millimeter accuracy, and a fraction of it as well. In his hospital, he has improved efficiency by 90%. His operating time has fallen from 2 hours to 20 minutes. He no longer requires unnecessary X-rays. His hospital saves €2,000 per patient. His patients improve patients' outcome exponentially. And he's not the only one that says this. As doctors put it, drill surgery removes the fear every doctor has before an operation. It feels like magic. Or my favorite one, this is the guidance solution we've been waiting for decades. We are already on the market. We have operated on 12 patients. We are live in 1 hospital. We have commitments from 5 international hospitals. Our IP is protected in Europe and Spain, our target markets, and our Class 1 regulatory audits are scheduled for Q1 2025. We are already in conversations with prospective partners to enter the market, but the standard of care in this industry is still guesswork and X-rays. Yes, big names have tried to provide an alternative, be it mechanical jigs or electromagnetic sensors. These are inaccurate and expensive, hence the poor adoption. Only drill surgeries guarantees a precise navigation system using AI, defending our objective market. We license our technology to OEMs, medical implant manufacturers, for a conservative licensing fee of €250 per operation, which, think about it, there's 20 million cases of this every year. We open a €5 billion annual market. This is the result of 5 years of advanced research and development and business strategy. We are award-winning surgeons and PhDs in artificial intelligence and 3D biomodeling. You'll see Joan Ferraz up there as well. He loved our technology so much, he's our CTO today. We are advised by vice presidents from the top medical companies, and our chairman sold his previous medical startup for over €100 million. Our current round focuses on commercial launch. We are raising €750 to onboard our existing pipeline of hospitals in 3 different countries and launch our first commercial agreement within the next 12 months. We are seeing strong fundraising progress with 20% of the round already secured from unicorn founders and business leaders. In the meantime, I hope that you or your close ones do not need of such an operation. But if they do, Drill Surgeons is here helping Hospital La Fe in Spain, Grande Metropolitano Hospital here in Milano, and very soon any other hospital we work with anywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Moises. So this next company, we've noticed in Silicon Valley that great companies to manage code are built by great coders. And the founders of this team, of this startup, are no exception. Absolutely amazing, brilliant coders. Please welcome the co-founder of Trag, Kay Varabian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kachatur, co-founder and CEO at Trag, and we're saving the world one line of code at a time. They say that money makes the world go round, but that's not true. It's code. Code makes the world go round, and specifically the 2.8 trillion lines of code that serve as the infrastructure of the world we live in. But as any infrastructure, code needs maintenance, and when it's not maintained, we have devastating consequences, such as Southwest Airlines' flights management software crashing, causing the company to ground all the flights at a cost of $800 million. Or Microsoft services going dark from CrowdStrike's update in July of this year, which brought down an estimated 8.5 million Windows devices around the globe, paralyzing operations at hospitals, 911 call centers, and more at a cost of $5 billion. And here's the issue. Software needs constant updating. That means engineers have to update the old existing code with a new one. And this requires them to go through millions of lines of code to make this happen. And this manual process causes companies some serious problems. The average engineering team spends up to 40% of their time manually rummaging through thousands of lines of code to make this happen. Companies are wasting up to $100 million on salaries alone on this task. The average code requires over 13 hours of manual inspection, which causes project bottlenecks and delays. And due to high resource demands of this process, it is impossible to conduct a thorough assessment. So 21% of companies' code is never even reviewed, leading to security and outage risks that thousands of companies are all too familiar with. And that's why we've built Trag, an AI engineer that automatically scans all your code 24/7 to find poorly structured or overly complex code, which can lead issues and even system collapses, and either automatically fixes it or recommends fixes to you. With Trag, engineering teams now need to spend less than 10% of their time, decreasing the cost on this by up to 45%. Code review is decreased by 85% down to just 2 hours. And as we have automated the process, we can make sure that 100% of the code is reviewed, leaving nothing to chance. And here's the good news. With over 400 million SMEs around the globe, the need is massive. And we're only focusing on 3.5 billion market of SMBs in Europe and US only. And at Trag, we have built a business model that can cater to a wide range of customers, from free tier for market share acquisition through team and enterprise tiers, to make sure that our product is available to everyone. And to bring Trag to the market, we're leveraging the open source community and partnering with developer tool giants like GitHub and Red Hat to be integrated into their existing tool sets, and through direct outreach to SMBs. And so far, it's been working. Since June of this year, Trag has scanned more than 20 million lines of code, saved more than 33,000 developer hours, found and fixed 16,000 bugs and issues from more than 700 users that we have from great companies such as Userflow, Carnegie Mellon, Zomato, and we're piloting with ShopMonkey. We'll start soon with Helpy, with MindsDB, WorldWinner, and in a late-stage discussions with Blackstone. Compared to our competitors, Trag is the most customizable solution out there. Our competitors are either focusing only on security or they provide very generic, opinionated AI code reviews. We cover everything and add a layer of customization on top of it because we understand that code reviews are very personal to engineering organizations. And of course, Trag is being built by engineers. Me and my co-founders, we know each other for more than 7 years. We have spent many years scaling tech products from 0 to 16 million monthly active users. We know how hard it goes along the way. And we did the same at YC companies, VMware, Talkdesk, and others. And we're backed by an amazing group of advisors who know how to scale tech products. And with that, we're raising 1.5 million euros to fast-track our go-to-market, reach to 5,000 users, close 20 enterprise pilots, and reach to 1 million in ARR by mid-2026. Join us, and let's keep the world spinning.
Thank you, Kay. All right, we've got another very hot, very technical team for this next startup. Some PhDs with a lot of deep experience. Security, coming to fix your hacking problems. Please welcome the CEO of Daspren, Mr. Taibi, Balkisem Taibi. Yes.
Thank you.
Please, go ahead.
Hi, everyone. My name is Balkisem, and I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Daspren. We are here today to secure the data that makes the world operate. There are 1,200 cyber attacks per minute, and many of these have catastrophic consequences, like when the colonial pipeline attacks caused 100 million people to experience fuel shortage, or when the Microsoft SolarWind attacks caused to more than 18,000 companies to have their databases infiltrated by hackers, or more, when the foreign adversaries broke into Lockheed Martin's databases and stole classified military documents. And this happened because the current cybersecurity software are templated. They are the same box of security that is offered to everyone. It's not sensitive to each user's security needs and threats. And this leads to some serious problems. Current cybersecurity software are acting only after the attack is discovered, which means that only when millions of documents have already been stolen. And this costs an average per company and per incident that range from €3 million for SMEs to 150 million euro for corporate. In addition to these direct losses, we have other damages, such as reputational and blackmail by hackers. And that's why we created Daspral. It's first of its kind, an AI-powered protection that customizes itself to fit each user's needs. And this is how it works. First, it learns each user behavior. What are the documents they are typically access? With which programs they do it? And also with at what time they do it, and etc. and etc. Then it automatically adapts its protection to each user's behavior, which means then that with Daspral, the use of AI to know which behavior to expect, make it preventative security rather than reactive security. And this offer you protection of 99% against all the data threats. And this reduces by 90% down the average cost of an incident to the €30,000 to a maximum of €1.5 million in case of corporate. Also, it eliminates the additional damage of blackmails and reputational damage. Daspral's ability to forecast behaviors make it the most dynamic data security, offering the best data protection. And its AI centricity allows us to have a tailor-made solution that is easy to deploy, only in few hours, rather than several weeks compared to our competition. The cybersecurity market is big. It represents €248 billion total market. And Daspral will focus on the €700 million, which is the European data security market. On the go-to-market strategy, we already started to sell directly to get references on the market. Soon, we will expand to the direct sales through partners such as integrator, distributor, to scale quickly. Our business model is simple: a license annual per workstation protected. And the price is dynamic according to the size of the customer in terms of number of workstations. In terms of traction, we already signed 3 hospitals and 2 POCs with partners for €55,000. We are in negotiation with 15 customers including big names such as Orange Cyber Defense for €3 million opportunity. Also, we are in discussion and we have in our pipeline more than 300 qualified prospects for an opportunity that more than €10 million. So I have cybersecurity background with more than 10 years experience. I met my co-founder and CTO Mathieu 8 years ago during his PhD thesis on security and privacy. And we are supported by talented engineering team and an advisory board with experience in development, in security, and AI. Today, we are raising €2.5 million to acquire 15 channel partners in goal to achieve €7 million ARR by end 2027. So join us in our journey to make the cyber world truly secure. Thank you.
Balkasem. All right, it's time for our 9th and final pitch. This startup is bringing neuroscience and AI to help support women's wellness. The founder herself has quite an amazing story. You're going to be quite delighted to hear it. So I'd like to welcome the co-founder of Sula, Natalia Moranchek.
1, 2, 3. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. My name is Natalia, and I'm the CEO and founder of Sola, the first female empathetic AI to support women in her mental state through the most challenging periods of her life. I will tell you a story, because as a woman, I was never meant to have kids. Doctors told me I'm not going to have them since I was 16, but life had other plans, and today I'm a solo mom of 2 boys. One of them is 10, the other is 5. And my journey as a mother and entrepreneur opened myself beautiful but very strong side of that, because there is a hidden crisis in challenging and navigating this combination of being a mom, being an interpreter, and balancing the career and female roles. I was one of those women, because I was left with my second one when he was just 1.5 months, and the second boy was 5 years old. And I had those sleepless nights, I had those lack of help, support, care, money, whatever you name it. And I didn't want just to thrive. I wanted to survive and make something bigger to the world, to help millions of women, the same as I am, who are challenging these experiences through their life journey. The problem is severe. Women are twice as likely as men to experience the burnout and depression, and about 80% of them burn out in balancing their roles in career and motherhood. 20% of women are diagnosed with a postpartum depression, and every 4th of those were either trying or thinking of committing the suicide. The problem is that current solutions, they simply don't work right now. Only 5% of women in the world can afford real help and therapy. And about 50% of digital tools, they fall apart. Women just don't go further because the solutions are templated and they don't fit their unique needs. 82% of US women say that they were feeling lonely during the most challenging experiences of their life because there is a huge stigma of asking questions and asking for help. That's why we have created Sola, the first female, empathetic, and proactive AI that is navigating women through her mental health. Empathetic, unique female needs are already there. It's tailored day to day. It's accessible, it's 24/7, it's judgment-free and always on your side, and the most important is proactive. That is how it works. So basically, Sola consists of 3 blocks. She monitors every step of women's communication and interaction with the app in her hourly, weekly, daily, yearly, monthly, And based on that information, in combination of millions of neuroscience data with the latest neuroscience, it reflects everything in a well-being tracker. Based on that information, where a woman understands already where she is, she gets her daily proactive program that is easily integrated in her daily routine. So she doesn't have to change her life. She can just use Solar whenever she needs that. Right? With Solar, 100% of women can afford help and support they need just for $10 a month. We have very low drop-off rate because it's super personalized, tailored, and easily integrated in the life. And with Solar, woman is never alone. She's with her 24/7. And you know what? It's working. We already have more than 100,000 downloads, about 10,000 of monthly active users, more than 3% of super users that spend more than 3 hours in the chat during the month. We have raised 1.3 million through angels and VCs and got a grant from European Commission for research and innovation for 1.5 million. 93% of positive feedback in the chat is a very high rate, and we're currently working with big names and companies of integrating Solar in corporate social benefits. The market is huge. Just imagine female mental health market, right? And we have started with B2C and pretty going successfully there, going to B2B, as I told you, putting Solar in ESG programs and corporate social benefits. The competition landscape is beautiful, but Solar stands apart over there as the most AI-driven, the most tailored, super personalized, and always with a woman 24/7 whenever she needs that, based on the latest neuroscience. The team is amazing. My co-founder, Andrei Kulik, he's a top Google engineer with more than 18 years of ML experience, with women for more than 17 years, with United Nations Population Fund and other big projects that I was running. We are backed up by the ex-VP of Product of Flow Health, by Neuroscience Institute in California, Katerina Lingol, she's MIT alumni and exit to NASA as well. Alexei Severin is the chief scientist researcher in Gemini AI Google. Amazing Berkeley SkyDeck team of mentors and advisors is always with us. We are aiming to put Solar and raise it in a big female advocate, going to a big voice. We already have Natalia Vadianova. She is a Goodwill Ambassador of United Nations. Our angel investor, actually, she has 7 unicorns out of 32 startups, so aim to be the next one. And we have a lot of publications and won a lot of competitions, so that we're pushing Solar to become a voice and raising awareness to female mental health. Raising 2.5 million right now to get 700K of MRR, more than 30 B2B partners, 400,000 subscriptions, and over 100,000 of monthly active users. And we are welcoming investors who are passionate about turning female nature into power, because a happy woman is someone who changes the whole society in general. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you. I would like to welcome all the founders out on stage again for another bow. I'm going to need more applause, and the SkyDeck team. Here they come, our amazing rock stars. They worked incredibly hard today. Thank you, founders. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so you're going to the booths, right? You're all going to the booths. But first, we'd like to thank you for coming to SkyDeck Demo Day. Anders and I would like to thank you so much for coming to SkyDeck Europe Demo Day. And any other closing words, Anders, for our
No, I'm
great
just saying that
audience
the program always continues, so the next batch is starting in a few weeks, and we're going to have another Demo Day in
All right, we'll
spring.
see you in the spring. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. We'd like to invite our moderator back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, so now it's time for our great host, Federico.
Grazie Caroline, grazie Anders. Allora, da parte mia solamente alcune informazioni di servizio. Adesso ci sarà un pranzo, poi